Welcome to City TV Sports Game of the Week. From Leuzinger High School, the Olympians are welcoming in the South High Spartans. And Rufus Washington, senior night, lots of them being introduced tonight.
They certainly are, and among them, Samisi Lewaki along with Adrian Galera. This is their last stand here at Olympian Field, potentially, although a playoff spot is in the running, but tonight's their biggest game of the season.
Last week you saw the Olympians trounce Torrance 60-17. What can we look for tonight?
Well, I think they're hoping for 60 again, but I'm sure they'd be happy to score just one more point than the South Spartans score.
That's right, and at 6-1 and 2-1, the South Spartans, they're looking tough, and but they're teetering a little bit with a little bit of a thin roster, McCall Hall.
Yeah, that's really going to be the key tonight. I want to make sure everybody watches their fatigue on the field. South is dealing with a little bit of fatigue because they are missing some players, but they are still 6-1, so you have to respect the record. But with senior night, I think it's going to be a really tight game.
And Rufus will run down the playoff picture when we come back after the kickoff, coming up next.
Hi, I'm Donnell Beverly from the University of Connecticut, home of the 2011 National Championship Yukon Huskies basketball team, and your Leuzinger Olympians.
Beverly around the back, follow-away jumper, good, beautiful shot.
It wasn't too long ago that I was playing basketball right here.
I just want to thank him for having me here. I'm honored to play here.
And the Huskies are the top dog in 2011.
Winning the NCAA championship has always been a goal of mine, but so is getting a great education that will last me a lifetime. You can achieve your goals too. All you have to do is work hard and dream hard, and you can do anything you put your mind to.
Back at Lou House just before kickoff, it'll be Andre Hunt to the far side to our right and Lionel Smith to the near side. And the South Spartans have yet to come out. Their kicker is a sophomore, Cole Kutch. And this is a little bit of a different team. Also, Brandon Rainey is a senior, so we'll see who they bring out. Coach Josh Waybright in his 13th year. Now, I mentioned 6-1, 2-1. The Spartans are actually 2-0. So the Spartans up at the top, tied with North at 2-0. Then there's West and Leuzinger at 1-1. Torrance and Centennial at the bottom at 0-2. And North is playing Torrance, West is playing Centennial. So if Leuzinger wins, they'll be right in the battle.
They'll be right in the battle, and here's the deal. It's real simple. The top two teams in the league get an automatic bid, and then the third place team has got to take their chances along with teams from 5 other leagues that are in the Western Division, except the Pioneer League, the Bay League, and the Ocean League are the only 3 teams in the Western Division with 6 teams in their conference. So you would expect that a couple of those leagues are going to get 3 teams in. Leuzinger is playing for one of those at-large spots right now.
All right, it is the sophomore kicking for the Spartans, Cole Kutch. And he tees it up at the 40-yard line. Who are our officials tonight, Rufus?
Officials for tonight's contest, the referee is Jason Skinner. He's in the white hat. Umpire is Mike Morris, the head linesman. On the side with the chains is Tim Greer. Line judge on the near side, Ron Harris. And the back judge is Greg Lawson.
And we're just about ready to get things underway at Lou House. And here we go. A short high kick. It's fielded at about the 32-yard line by Jeremiah Smith, and he gets up almost to the 40-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Malik Jackson and the Olympians. So I don't know if that was a planned thing or if their senior kicker is a little bit dinged up.
Well, if they scouted the Leuzinger Olympians, I don't think their plan was to give them the ball with that kind of field position.
So it'll be the 38-yard line, we'll call it. And Malik Jackson is in the I. Adrian Galera is dotting the I, and the halfback is Suliasi Fakava. Give it to Galera. Galera gets to the 45-yard line, and a good carry and a good push by the offensive line.
That was a nice 6-yard run by Galera to get the offense started for the Olympians.
So to the 45-yard line, it'll be 2nd down and 4. And the handoff goes to Galera again. 1st down into Spartan territory, still on his feet. Finally gets stacked up at the 40-yard line. And no flags on the ground, and that was one of the goals by the Olympians and Damian Porter.
Well, one thing Coach Porter talks about is minimizing mistakes, and not of which turnovers are one, and not making silly penalties.
So a 15-yard run for Adrian Galera, and it's 1st down and into the power I again. Galera gets down to the 35-yard line, maybe inside the 35, down to the 34.
And so far, it's the Adrian Galera show. 3 carries so far. Had a chance to meet his mother and his godparents as they were celebrating senior night tonight.
Nice family. And gustos was nosotros. In other words, the pleasure was ours.
Okay.
Coming in the game, Jose Martinez. 10-17, clock rolling in the first quarter. Glad you joined us on City TV. It's senior. No, the ball is dropped and picked up by the Spartans. Recovered on the play by number 11, and he's not on my list.
And neither is he on mine, and I have one from earlier in the season. So, but that's the kind of mistake, exactly the mistake that Leuzinger was hoping to avoid. And here they had a drive that started so good at their own 38-yard line. They penetrate into South territory and turn the ball over at the South 38-yard line.
So here comes South. Ball is handed off to Cameron Dillon from Gabe Zuniga, and a no gainer.
And Dillon is an all-league running back, first team all-league as a matter of fact, and he was slowed up at the line of scrimmage. We saw him earlier in the season, and he can break it at any time. So Leuzinger's defense is going to have their hands full trying to contain him. It'll be interesting, as we've seen during the course of this season, that Coach Porter has moved Milwaukee around. Right now he has him again as an interior lineman. He's number 6, which I think takes greater advantage of his talents than having him on the end.
Dillon gets it again and gets hit immediately by Fakava and is buried under a blue tsunami.
And
So
Fakava, another one of those seniors that was introduced tonight. Again, he had a big game last week and is picking up tonight where he left off last week.
So -3 on the play to Dillon, who's listed 5'11", 210 pounds. Fakava, 5'10", 225, so pretty even battle.
Big third down play. They've got to get out near the 45 to keep this drive going. So Leuzinger defense has an opportunity. They're going to have a flag on the play. Boy, that may be against the offense.
This was 3rd down and 14. And it's offside against Leuzinger.
Wow. Well, that one hurts because although it'll still make it a 3rd and long.
3rd and about 9.
Right now, a monitor is on the fritz, but we're sure we'll have that worked out in a little while.
Zuniga out of the shotgun. Still have 3 receivers to the right, but he goes to the left, has a man open, and just out of the reach of the intended receiver.
That was Carl Richardson. Number 1 is Carl Richardson, who was the intended receiver. Richardson also an all-league player.
And Kyron Santos on the coverage. And back to receive the punt for the Olympians. I believe that's Culpepper.
So a
Punt.
good stand for the Leuzinger defense, Lou.
Culpepper muffs it, picks it up at about the 23, but is in trouble and is down inside the 20-yard line. Let's see where they're giving the cut forward progress to.
Well,
So 17-yard line. Is that what you think that is there?
That they're going to give him the backward progress to the 17.
Yeah.
Because you're right. He originally made contact with the ball at the 23 and kept giving ground. And so this time they'll start about 20 yards farther back than they did on their initial possession.
All right, let's see if they stick with the run and Adrian Galera. I just want to tell the guys down on the truck that our monitor is on the fritz and not working. And 8:10 left to go in the first quarter. So it'll be out of the shotgun for Jackson, who makes his first pass and is completed to Hunt. Hunt breaks 1 tackle, 2, almost broke a 3rd, but that's enough for a first down, Rufus, up to about the 32-yard line. If there's no flags, no, there's not.
And you could almost tell that was going to be a pass play because the backfield was empty. A little bubble screen out here to the left side of the offensive line, and enough for the first down.
So 14 yards on the catch and a first down, their second first down of the game. South defense switching around. The ball is handed off, hit immediately, and hit for a loss is Daniel Carmichael. Back to the 28-yard line. Well, they're going to give him forward progress to the 29.
Carmichael, a sophomore, Lou, last week had a huge game. Scored a couple of TDs for the Olympians, and Coach Porter's rewarded him with some early playing time tonight.
So South, the defense on top of things there on that play. And they wait for the Leuzinger offense to get set before their defense set. Jackson again swings it out to to Hunt, and look out, it's a foot race, and nobody's going to catch Andre Hunt. Touchdown, Leuzinger.
And that's a 70-yard touchdown pass by the quarterback Malik Jackson to Andre Hunt.
All right, so the ball was at the 29-yard line, so 71 officially.
Right. Not sure where 85 came from.
I don't know. Hey, it is senior night. So, okay, so Jackson to Hunt for 71 yards. And coming on to tack on the extra point is Adrian Acosta. And it is true and through. So with 6:56 left to go in the first quarter, the Olympians strike first. 7-0. So 71 yards in the drive.
So a good-looking drive for the Olympians, Lou, as they responded after having that turnover on their first possession when they were moving the ball real well. This time, they're able to cash in again on that bubble screen play, 71-yard touchdown pass.
So a 3-play, 83-yard drive. Jackson to Hunt. And it was almost a 3-minute drive. We'll call it 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
It's downstairs.
So Costa getting ready to kick things off. From about the 12-yard line, met at the 25.
Wow, still on his feet.
Yeah, sure is. And got knocked out of bounds by Acosta around the 42-yard line. That was Troy Bennett.
Wow, and when your kicker has to make the tackle, that means there was a breakdown somewhere on your special teams. Leuzinger initially had containment back at about the 20-yard line where we were about to call a play dead, but the return man kept pushing, and as you said, got it out to the 42-yard line.
So out of the shotgun is Zuniga. Has Dillon back with him. Zuniga has a man open, and Richardson just couldn't make the over-the-shoulder catch. He looked to the left and then had to go to the right, as on the coverage was Kyron Santos.
Yeah, and Kyron Santos was way off of him, boy. You know, you got to tighten up your coverage against a guy like that. I mean, that's one of the best receivers in the South Bay, Carl Richardson. He's only a junior, and as a sophomore a year ago, he was all-league.
Tanner Thompson splits wide to the near side. Two receivers either side of Zuniga with Dillon in the backfield. A quick pass in and out of the reach of Richardson.
We're certainly putting pressure on this Leuzinger defensive backfield because they put four receivers in the formation that time, two on each side. So they spread them out. Unfortunately, their quarterback couldn't make the connection with his intended receiver.
No, not to you, Rufus, but.
Right, no, I understand.
So now we have whistle, and let's see what's going on.
Well, that's kind of what everybody's asking, what's going on.
Leuzinger's bench. Instructions going out to the defense. And Tariq Culpepper asking Damian Porter, what are we going to do, Coach? He said, we'll play football, that's what.
Oh, yeah, because there's no timeout on the field. There was an official stoppage of play. The umpire, Mike Morris, who's behind the defense.
Hand off to Dillon, tries to get around the corner, does. Look out, bull in the China closet. Gets into Leuzinger territory down to the 45-yard line.
And that was a third down play that Leuzinger let him pick up 12, 13 yards on the play, get the ball, as you said, into Olympian territory at the Olympian 45.
And that was Dillon's longest run of the night at 13 yards and a first down, their first down. 6:26 clock running in the first quarter on senior night here at whose house?
Lou House.
Love that name. Pitch goes back to Dillon. Look out, and look out. Takava there again, along with Jeremiah Smith, all the way back to the 50-yard line, Rufus, and a good play, a 5-yard loss.
Excellent play by the Leuzinger Olympians. Alrighty.
Yes. Here's the replay.
There you see on the replay, you're going to see the Leuzinger pursuit come. That's for Kava right there, and sticking his nose in there also is number 3. And some question as to which we'll check that. I know you've got one lineup with number 3 on, and I have one today with a different number 3 from the same day. But
well, we did get another one here. So back Zuniga, and it's intercepted.
And Fakava has an open field. Fakava will go all the way. Touchdown!
So Fakava with the pick 6 makes it 13-0 at 5:23. Looked like about 40 yards.
Wow.
So let's see there. Okay.
And he threw it right to Fakava. And, boy, that's one of the easiest ones he'll get in his career. Crosses the end line, touchdown, Leuzinger.
Going to call it, how about 45 yards?
All right.
Because the line of scrimmage was the 50. Zuniga threw it off of his back foot. And I'm going to call it 45 yards. Acosta tacks on the extra point, and with 5:23 left in the first quarter, it's 14-0 in favor of Leuzinger.
Wow. And who'd have thunk it? Again, talking about coming into tonight's contest, as we were, Lou, it's still early going, but we're in the first quarter. And we're barely halfway through the first quarter. But as you see on the replay there for Kava going in, see a little thing there for you youngsters who are watching. You never take for granted that you've scored until you cross the end line with that ball safely in your hand. Fakava starting to celebrate a little bit. Boy, that could have turned disastrous. Barely avoided a disaster there. Let's go down to McCall Hall.
All right, you guys, very impressive first quarter already from the Olympians. Their defense is on point, offense is on point. Very interesting and key fact I want to throw at you guys real quick. Defensive end, Samisi Lakauku, I might be mispronouncing his name, is a verbal commit to Utah. Well, tonight, USC is in the house scouting him. So keep your eye on number 6 because he might be swayed to stay here in Southern California, especially if his defense keeps lighting it up like they are right now. Back to you guys.
All right, well, that was, I believe I saw Coach Chris Wilson from USC here tonight. Not real camouflaged. He was wearing the cardinal and gold. The only thing he was missing was the batteries on that glitter. And I noticed they were playing the fight song here, the USC fight song tonight too. So now a little bit of an end around and fake out. And on the far sideline, there goes the kickoff returner deep inside of Leuzinger territory. And finally, Brandon Teriyaki is brought down at about the 21-yard line.
And he took that at about the 15. So that's 35 and another 20. That's a 55-yard kickoff return. And once again, I just mentioned it. You see on the replay here, Leuzinger special teams, kickoff special teams, not getting the job done right now, putting pressure again on this defense as South has the ball virtually in the red zone to start the possession with.
Just about, and Zuniga doing a bootleg after the fake to Dillon and gets down to about the 15-yard line. So a good push, 6 yards on the play.
We'll see on the replay here. I don't know, it looked like that may have been a busted play. When he turned the fake, there was nobody in the backfield. Perhaps it was by design, but I got to tell you.
Zuniga made it look good.
Right.
So out of the eye, Lawrence Masonette is the halfback. But Zuniga on the bootleg. No doubt about that one, and it looks like he got the first down. It's just inside the 10-yard line.
And that is the indication by the referee that it is a first down. As I mentioned, the referee for tonight's contest, Jason Skinner.
So, first and goal from the 9-yard line for South.
And let's remember, in all fairness to this Leuzinger defense, this drive started as a result of breakdowns by the kickoff return team, by the kickoff team, rather, at the Leuzinger 21-yard line.
Dillon trying to get going, but is hit immediately behind the line of scrimmage and brought down by number 53. And I don't have a 53. But I'm going to give him a no gain. So Lewacki was there, Fakava was there. Let's see, isn't Utah in town this weekend?
Yes, they are.
Okay. So I know what Milwaukee's going to be doing tomorrow.
And it's nothing like being able to score complimentary tickets. Recruit
no,
tickets.
field passes.
Field passes.
To the
Official
Coliseum.
recruit field passes. Don't want to leave any false impressions here. Everything's legit.
So false start gets it back to about the 15. First and goal from the 15. Second down. Out of the shotgun is Zuniga. Dillon's back there with him. Everybody goes in the pattern.
Here comes the pressure.
There's Milwaukee for the pressure, and good defense by Leuzinger. Daniel Carmichael on the defense. So now it's third and goal from the 15.
Good pressure by the Olympians. Here comes Big 99. He's the one I told you about, Lou.
Yeah.
The transfer in from Cathedral. That's Asili Ahoye. And, boy, he was coming full speed ahead.
He sure was. So big third down play for Leuzinger's offense with 3:36 left to go in the first quarter. Back to pass to Zuniga. Going to look out again. And it's intercepted again. This time back around the 10-yard line.
Is that Galera?
And that is, falling down. That is
number 7.
Kyron Santos.
Kyron Santos with the interception and return.
All the way to the 50-yard line.
Wow, a big play for the Leuzinger defense. Boy, talk about dodging a bullet there. Now, there may be some laundry on the field. Let's look at.
Let's watch this. Throws it and going to call that right at about the 10-yard line.
Now, so there was a flag on the far side. We still don't have an indication.
Probably an illegal block.
Personal foul against the Olympians.
So the line of scrimmage now is the 24-yard line, we'll call it. But the Leuzinger Olympians stop south. Let's see if we can see it there. That might have been it right there, Rufus. A late hit.
No, because if it had been that, they'd have maintained possession. So it was somewhere in the return.
Okay, let's see if we can watch it before the Olympians snap it.
That wouldn't appear to be it.
That was up near the 50-yard line. Jackson swings it out to Lionel Smith. Smith is on the run. Smith to midfield and finally brought down. Gets it right back to where they were. Brandon Rainey with the tackle.
That settled down, started at the 25, and they bring the ball out across midfield to about the 46-yard line. So that's a 29-yard pickup.
That's right.
The passing game really in top form for the Olympians tonight.
Running game ain't bad either. So to the 46-yard line, coming out of the game is Lionel Smith. Give him a little blow. Kyron Santos is coming back in. Two receivers to the right. Make it two receivers either side. One man in the backfield with Jackson. We have a flag in the air. The Culpepper dropped the ball, and once we figure out what the penalty is, we'll go downstairs to Tamara Lata.
My guess is that this is going to be illegal procedure against the Olympians.
Okay, so false start. So it'll go back into Leuzinger territory, and let's go down to Tamara.
Well, Leuzinger has struck first with 2 touchdowns, and their success is coming from communication. Coaches are on the sidelines, in the kids' ear with every down, and they are listening. Let's see how long they can keep this lead going. Back to you guys.
2:44 and counting, Tamara. Thank you very much. Handoff, and that goes to Carmichael. Daniel, finally the whistle's blown dead. Or the ball is blown dead down inside the Well, right about the 45-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and 9. So 6 yards on the gain.
As you see on the carry again, there Carmichael is with it. Carmichael had the big first half last week. Boy, in the first quarter alone, he had 146 yards.
Jackson completes it to DeAnthony Jones, and there's a bull in the china closet, running over white jerseys inside the 30-yard line.
DeAnthony glad to be back out on the field. Last week had the week off, coach's decision. And with that, we still got a minute 54 left.
Watch that replay there. That's a big young man.
And the South Spartans, whom I had on the brain last week, even though they were playing the Torrance Totters. I couldn't, I just had visions of this game all along.
You were waiting on it.
I was waiting on it, man. I was a week ahead of my time.
So,
and
so there's a timeout on the field.
Well, here's the deal, Coach Waybright. Right now, if you're South, you're coming into a game 6-1 against a team that's 2-5, and you're thinking, man, what has happened here?
So play is about to get back underway. And the concession stand is up here in the press box. Carmichael gets the handoff. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage, but still wiggles his way up near the line of scrimmage. Galera comes back in for Daniel. Nice defensive play by Lawrence Masonette. So no gain on the play. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. Galera gets a huge hole for Adrian. Now we have a flag thrown. It could be a holding call, Rufus. That might have been why the hole was so big. But if Adrian would have went right instead of going left, he would have been in the end zone. But might not matter anyway.
The umpire, and now we get the indication that it is holding against the Olympians.
So that'll go back. Let's see if we can see the penalty.
Hard to see it there. I got to tell you, if anything, Galera was holding his own guy.
He was holding Alberto Perez.
Right.
I don't think that counts, does it? So wait a minute. I didn't get blessed by the concession ferry? Okay. All right. Jackson throws it on the near sideline. It's caught by Culpepper, and he's spun out of bounds and gets near the original line of scrimmage at the 29-yard line. No, that's okay. That's all right.
No, there was plenty.
I know. That's okay. Let's see, we got to get it over. I don't want to get it on the equipment. So it's down to the 28-yard line, they'll call it. So an 11-yard gain for Culpepper. .35 seconds left. 2 receivers on either side out of the pistol, and now Galera calls timeout. So 1 timeout taken by each side, Rufus. And the Leuzinger offense stalling here.
Yeah, because it's a 3rd and long. They're inside the 30, but they've got to get down. Actually, they've got to get inside the 20 in order to pick up the first down. And the ball is spotted at about the 29-yard line now, maybe the 28, and they've got to get to the 19.
So it's third down. And ironically enough, 28 seconds left on the clock. So earlier this week, I believe it was Thursday, Peninsula High School announced that they were canceling their 3 remaining games because of injuries. They still had 27 players on their roster, but their principal saw fit to cancel the games. We'll talk about that. Jackson back to pass, has a man open, going for the end zone. Adrian pushed off, and that's going to be interference on Andre Hunt, I believe.
But they'll probably decline it and force a 4th down and 9.
So there you see, and the push had already occurred by that time. So it's pass interference against Leuzinger. So it'll be third down and a lot.
Well, you can make it third down a lot. I'm a little surprised that rather than decline the penalty, I would have thought that South would have declined the penalty and made it a 4th and 9 instead of giving them 2 downs. So now it's going to be third and a lot, as you said, because they'll mark it back. What? Wow, okay.
How is that a loss of downs? Huh. Okay.
That's a new one on me.
Me too.
That's one of those that eventually got to check.
Yeah. Okay, so that's why Josh Wainwright took the penalty then.
Exactly.
So Tariq Culpepper back in punt formation at his own 44-yard line. And getting ready to receive it is number 11, almost blocked. And the ball luckily takes a Leuzinger bounce. It'll go out of bounds somewhere around the 25-yard line. But almost blocking the ball.
Yeah, that was not a particularly good punt.
Number 69 on South, and he's not on our roster either. So first punt of the night for Leuzinger. South has it at the 25 with 14 seconds left in the first quarter on senior night at
Lou House.
Zuniga under center. In the spread, man in motion, throws it to that man in motion. And nice defensive play by Andre Hunt along with Monteiro Wynn Jr. Tackle on Troy Bennett.
And you're right, the losing Olympians defense on that one had that one defensed very well, as we see on the replay here with the reception as Bennett. But coming into your picture real quickly, you're going to see a host of Leuzinger defenders, including Monterio Wynn, Andre Hunt, and Daniel Carmichael.
Okay, we don't have a report from anybody. Guess they all went to the concession stand.
To support the band, no less.
That's it. Got to support the band. You are supporting it big time. What do you got there? Chili cheese fries?
That's what they've offered up. Compliments.
Wow,
okay.
That looks good. And then you got a Sprite going and a Coke going.
I'm holding the Coke over here for you.
Hold on, I need some caffeine, do I?
Just in case you want it.
There they are, the Leuzinger Spirit Squad, doing it loud and proud on senior night. All right, ladies.
You got to say, Coach Candy does a wonderful job with these young ladies in terms of turning them into a group of performing artists, and that is indeed what they are. Of course, we affectionately call them cheerleaders, but boy, the quality of their presentation has been outstanding over the last couple of years and gotten better each year.
Another flag on the play. False start on South, so they'll bring it back 5. So that'll go back to the 22-yard line. Second down and 12. 2 penalties for 5 yards for South, and for Leuzinger, 3 penalties for 20 yards. Here you see Damian Porter in his second year. Boy, you talk to him for 5 minutes, you want to put on a helmet and go out there and play for him. Ball is handed off and get caught by the line, behind the line. Wow.
And who was in there?
Favaka.
Calvin, number 44, along with number 99, Ahoy.
What a difference Ahoya's made since he's been in there.
Oh, he's made a huge difference. And there you see number 4, Galera, one of the smallest guys out there. He's sticking his nose in there too.
Says, I want a piece.
And
Give
of
me a
course,
piece.
Milwaukee.
So that goes back to the 20-yard line, so a loss of 2 for Dillon. Look out.
Wow.
Ooh, manhandled down.
Whoa, and now we got a late flag coming in.
It might have been a horse collar, too. DeAnthony Jones with the sack.
And now the quarterback's down.
He was body slammed.
Well, let's see if we can see the replay on this. And again, right now, of course, our best wishes and thoughts are with the quarterback, Gabe Zuniga. He's a senior. We're going to see it on the replay here in just a moment. You see him dropping back to pass. See the pursuit coming in. Ahoye there. Here's number 12. I don't see anything.
No,
I mean,
he landed on DeAnthony.
Okay.
Can't be a face mask or anything. Is he up on a knee? He's up on a knee.
Personal foul, face mask against Leuzinger. And boy, that's going to
Can we
give
see
him
that
a
again,
cheap
Tom?
first down.
Please, I just wanted to see that. I didn't see a face.
Well, it's incidental certainly at the end, and it's
Okay.
not. But I guess, quite frankly, the guy's down at that point, which says to me the play's dead. But nonetheless, they're going to enforce it. But even with the, well,
No,
if it's a
it's
face
not an
mask, that
automatic first down.
okay, well, that's another interesting call because a face mask like that, you would think, and we'll see if they change the marker, typically face mask is a personal foul penalty, automatic first down.
Left-handed quarterback in the ball game now, and the ball is incomplete. That's Trevor Talpas, a senior, 6 foot 170. Richardson is just too far out of his reach. So now it's 4th down and 5.
So they must have called that, and we didn't see the mark off, Lou, of the 5-yard variety. They do have 2 face masks that are now called. One's the more flagrant one, and one's the less intentional one. But from where they marked it off at, and it wasn't paying close attention, looked like they marked it off from
10
the spot.
yards. Yeah,
exactly.
that would have been like
Which
about
would
10
have meant
yards.
that was the more flagrant version.
Or if the Zuniga dropped back to pass around the 15-yard line, that makes more sense because then it would have been 15 yards.
Well, at any rate, that's one of those. Boy, we've had a couple of situations last couple of weeks. We know in the pregame, in terms of when we were talking to Coach Porter, there was the call that was made on the botched extra point attempts where because the holder was down on one knee, when the ball was botched, he was considered to already be down, and that happened twice and negated 2 Leuzinger extra point attempts.
Out of the shotgun is Jackson, hands the ball off to Galera.
Wow, it looked like his face mask was grabbed on that one. No flag, though.
Either that or the defender was going for the ball. At any rate, Adrian gets up to about the 33-yard line, so a 5-yard gain.
You see the replay here, and okay, got him up by the shoulder pads.
That was Lawrence Masonette. With 9:57 left to go in the half, and a timeout is called by the official. Kyron Santos coming in for Malcolm Jackson. Maybe there's a little bit of an equipment problem.
Well, it's something, but this is the second time a Leuzinger player has had to come off the field due to an official stoppage of action. And if nothing else, it's disrupting to your rhythm when you send out a certain package to run a play. And by package, I mean a certain group of players to run a play, and now you've got to change one piece. It's not as simple as that. It changes everything about the play. And so that's something that the coaching staff has got to address and get straightened out on the sideline, because that's 2 times where it's happened to him.
Here comes Galera again, and he's hit, straightened up, and put down by Sean Fitzgerald, but not before a first down by Adrian Galera, his third straight run, excuse me. So to the 43-yard line.
Galera does a great job, boy. You talk about a guy who follows his blockers, stays in there, knows where he needs to get to, hangs onto the ball, takes a big hit. You got to compliment the players on both teams, Lou. You see a lot of guys clad in pink, mostly pink socks, and so forth, and some other pink attire in recognition of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As the rest of us, as Galera goes around the left side.
Carmichael's going down the sideline. Carmichael headed into the end zone. Touchdown, Leuzinger. Daniel Carmichael from the 43-yard line. So a 57-yard run for Carmichael and the Olympians. Let's see now. We got a hold, though, on Leuzinger.
Wow, so it all goes for naught as it'll come back. But a good-looking run by Carmichael. Boy, the sophomore, Lou, in the last 2 weeks has just had a breakout season. Now, even though this run comes back, that's the sort of thing that gets your juices flowing if you're a running back. And, you know, we talked about the 2 big runs he had last week, one of 71 yards, another of 75 yards, both for touchdowns. And even though they bring this one back, that doesn't bode well, I don't believe, for this South Spartan defense.
So 57-yard TD run by Carmichael. Called back. So now the line of scrimmage is the 44-yard line. And the ball is handed off again. Ball is handed off this time. That's to Lionel Smith, the little water
train.
That's it, the little train.
The little train picks up a first down as he rumbles and stumbles and bumbles for 13 yards.
Jitterbugging down to the 43-yard line.
And he's so small. Once he gets into the
where
interior, you got to find him.
Isn't there a guy named Rogers that did that here a few years back?
Mark Rogers, number 4, who also wore number 4 during his day.
Rogers. Smith, little train again. Has one man to get around. Gets to the 15 and drug out of bounds. Nice tackle, touchdown saving tackle by Talpas.
Wow. And Leuzinger here in the first half just dominating this South Spartan football team.
So from the 43 down to the 13, that's 30 yards.
And Little Train just ran through a tackle right there. before he was finally brought down. Boy, glad to see him get up. That's one of those type of tackles right there. Nothing bad about the tackle, but the way you fall could lead to an injury.
Jackson flushed out of the pocket, and so he's going to have to scramble and tackled inside the 10-yard line, so it might be a no gain. Jackson comes back. Let's go down to McCall.
All right, you guys, real quick injury update. South's senior quarterback Gabe Zuniga is actually being monitored right now by their medical staff. He suffered a slight scratch and hit to his eye during the second quarter. They're keeping a close eye on it, no pun intended, but they're going to give him a few more series before they throw him back out there. Hope to see him in the second half. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, McCall. She intended that pun when you talk about it. Jackson hands the ball off to Galera. Galera dancing his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Leuzinger.
Galera from 14 yards out.
So Leuzinger really putting on a show. It's 20-0, 6:49 left. Let's watch the replay, Rufus. What a hole opened up by this Leuzinger offensive line. Terrific block right there and there.
And you heard me talk about how Galera does a great job of following his blocks. And there you saw him follow him all the way through into the end zone. Nice 14-yard run by the senior, Adrian Galera.
And Costa knocks the extra point through. It's 21-0. Leuzinger over South. I expected a good ball game, Rufus, but not this dominating by Leuzinger.
And I'm not sure anybody did coming into it. With all due respect to South coming in, a earned 6-1 record, 2-0, atop of the league. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. You and I have been witness.
Oh yeah.
In a variety of sports here in the South Bay to huge comebacks. So there's nothing to take for granted right now. You enjoy where you are, but boy, there's a lot of football left to be played. And just like Leuzinger has put up 21 points so far, and it's not even only halfway through the second quarter, South could respond just as quickly, and nearly did a couple of times, but for turnovers, okay?
That's right. 7 plays, 72 yards. And that took 3.5 minutes. Capped off by Adrian Galera and a 14-yard run. Wow. You got 3 running backs. They're all fresh horses. That's going to wear a lot of guys down, a lot of teams down, Rufus.
It certainly will. Now here comes the adventure for the Leuzinger football team tonight.
Right.
Has been the kickoff unit, because they have given up huge yardage on every kickoff that they've made so far tonight.
Acosta kicks the ball, picked up at about the 6-yard line. And a wide open hole, and Richardson is thrown down to the ground by Carmichael to about the 34-yard line. Still a good return.
Still a good return if you ask me. They're still giving up way too much yardage. I'm certain that when they go into practice next week and they look at this, they're going to, Coach, this is going to be one of those areas where Coach Porter and his assistants will work on and make the Olympians a little bit better.
6:40 left to go in the first half. A 3-touchdown lead for Leuzinger. And Talpa still in there. Rolls out, and the pass is caught.
Now he brought it down. That was the replacement quarterback. Yeah, as you mentioned, Talpas, who came in, he kept it on the play. Nobody to throw it to. And he scampered out of bounds under heavy pursuit.
Okay.
As
so
we'll
no
see
gain.
Here on the replay. And he's the left-handed quarterback. And here's the thing you can bet. Once the left-handed quarterback starts running right, he's not going to throw the ball. Rarely is he going to throw running to his right.
David Phillips flushed him out of the pocket. So Dillon trying to get the running game going, and the Olympians say, you're going back that way. Coming up off the bottom of the pile is Jeremiah Smith. Also got some help from Musica Valiea.
And you're right, big number 76 helped to slow him down there. And that was Jose Martinez as well.
So another no gain. So it's 3rd down and 10 from the 34.
Wow.
And it almost got intercepted again.
And that one was almost intercepted by DeAnthony Jones. Man, they are reading this play. That's what you call scouting. They're reading that play to perfection, Lou. Let's watch the replay again. There you see the replay.
Goodness.
Wow.
That was DeAnthony Jones. That would have been his 2nd interception.
And that would have been a pick 6 as well. So Culpepper drops back to receive the punt, and now we got a flag on the play.
From way back there, that's usually time, isn't it? Culpepper says, I don't know what it was. Now they're moving the ball 5 yards.
Well, the official not doing a real good job of giving us an indication.
Have no
or
idea.
the crowd of what it is, but I think it was an illegal substitution. It was against the Olympians.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they've got to be careful here. Okay, snap is away clean.
Culpepper catches the ball at about his own 18-yard line. Has to get away from his first pursuit. Beautiful block. Got 2 guys down. Now Culpepper dancing around the 40-yard line. We have at least 2 flags down. But a nice return, but I don't know. That block cleaned out 2 Spartans, Rufus.
Well, the block over on this side, I thought was pretty clean.
Yeah.
But we'll see. That one was blown by the line judge, and we'll tell you who the line judge is on this side.
So there holding on Leuzinger. So the second flag was a towel.
Line judge is Ron Harris, but here's the flag here. Okay. Boy, that's awfully close there.
It looked like a late flag. You just saw it fly through the screen. Okay.
So that'll push it back inside the 15-yard line where Leuzinger will go on possession.
So we'll call it the 13-yard line. 5:29 left to go in the half. And let's see if Leuzinger can get things going, get a nice long drive to end the half. Louis dancing the Cucarachi with the Leuzinger Spirit Squad. Ball is handed off. And there it goes.
Carmichael.
That's Carmichael. Carmichael past the 50-yard line. Carmichael
just
being pursued by number 11, and
still
he is still on his feet. Gets tackled out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Any flags?
Don't see any flags. Nope. Started at the 13. That's 37. Well, let's see where they spotted at. They're going to spot it inside the 5 down to the 3. So that's 47 and 37, man, that's 84 yards.
Yep.
You add the 7 and the 7 is 14. Write your 4 and carry your 1. 4 and 3 is 7, and 1 makes 8.
And a first down to boot.
84-yard run by Carmichael.
He ran out of gas. What happened? So a timeout on the field. 6:12 left to go by South. They have 1 timeout left. And I tell you what, Rufus, they just shot my plan in the foot. I said take a nice, there we go. Let's watch this offensive line do its work. Beautiful job. And he's in the secondary now and off to the races. Has Jackson with him. He says, I'm sorry, Malcolm, I got to leave you.
guys. Just a foot race from there. And here's what's important that you want to make sure is that none of the trailing guys commit the unnecessary penalty with an unnecessary block. You take all you can get because at that point he's already gotten a whole lot. He's gotten 85 yards.
Yeah, let's see. Carmichael. $92 yards on 4 carries. Ball is handed off, still on his feet, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Leuzinger.
And they reward him. That's just like in basketball when they say if your big man runs the floor, you got to reward him. Well, in this particular case, the coaching staff decides to reward Carmichael with the touchdown because he's the one who put him in position. So, 3-yard touchdown run for Daniel Carmichael.
Josh Waybright on that one because he took the timeout. South took the timeout, gave Carmichael the rest, and he did the rest. So a 2-play drive that went 82 yards. Oh.
One of the rare miscues in the extra point unit for the Olympians.
5 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the first half. Olympians 27, Spartans 0.
Well, you want them to take their time.
I know. There's 5:07 left.
Right.
So that took
about a minute.
No, less than that. That only took 22 seconds.
Okay, actually that kick was blocked.
Yep. Wasn't missed, it was blocked. But at any rate, it's 28-0. So an 87-yard drive in 2 plays.
2 plays, that was it.
Carmichael.
All Daniel Carmichael.
With a 3-yard run.
The Carmichael family is beaming brightly tonight. And it's not even senior night for them. Yeah.
That's right. It was at Daniel's just a sophomore as the ball is kicked off. And the ball is down, but a lot of turnover on this South Spartan team, and so lots of juniors and there's a lot of seniors on here too, but there's a lot of injuries. There's the Olympian torch burning brightly, and it's 27-0. That's right. The PAT was blocked, but the Leuzinger Olympians getting it done on the ground tonight, Rufus, with Galera and Carmichael. And we're going to re-kick this one with 5:07 left. Kind of shanked that kick. Almost had a divot if it didn't have a T. So it's run out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Make sure he didn't kick it out of bounds again. So took a little something off of it. And again, attempted to steer it into the middle of the field. Now, sometimes the good thing about it is one of your up backs are the guys who get it. So let's go. Do we have somebody?
No, I was just pointing at Sean Fitzgerald. We called his name all night long when they played Hawthorne. And I believe this is only the second time we've called Sean's name tonight. he was Mr. Everything against the Cougars. So out of the eye. But I got to tell you, the difference in attitude before the game, Rufus, was immeasurable. As taking the ball is Sean Fitzgerald at running back now. He's got a lot of energy, but only got a yard on that play.
And trying to get something going, but here's what's important as you look at the South squad and you want to keep aware of, and that's the fact that their backup quarterback, although he's a senior, Trevor Talpas, is in now because Gabe Zuniga, the senior, went out and right now is going through the concussion protocols to make sure he's okay.
And he landed on DeAnthony Jones, DeAnthony Jones. He didn't land on the ground. So Dillon gets up to about the 46-yard line. So 7 yards on the play.
Clock continues to run. We're under 4 minutes left here in the first half.
3rd down and 2 for the Spartans.
A big 3rd down for the Spartans. You almost got to think that this is 4-down territory for them unless they take a loss on the play.
And Talpas trying to do it himself and does. On the quarterback keeper, gets the 1st down and then some, down to about the 42-yard line in Leuzinger territory. So a big gainer for the Spartans, and they needed that one. So 15 yards on the run, Rufus.
And that keeps the drive alive for them. Looking to see where Lewicki again set up as an interior lineman. He started the season on the defensive end, and of course that was stifling his ability to contribute effectively for the Leuzinger defense because teams who had scouted them were smart enough and they just ran in the opposite direction to the weaker side of the Leuzinger defensive line. But ever since Coach Porter has brought him inside as an interior lineman, it's made a difference for this defense, and it's also made a difference for Lewicki's ability to contribute to the defense.
Coming down to 2:40 left to go in the half. And Dillon gets a yard, so it'll be 2nd down and 1. Richardson on the move, and look out, that one flipped out, and ball is taken by Talpas, and he is tackled for a big loss back into South territory about the 46-yard line. So Jeremiah Smith on the tackle. Let's watch this as that pops out like a bar of soap. And a good tackle by Smith with 2:27 left.
And so the Olympians called their 2nd timeout. Yeah. And one of the things that they're hoping to do now is maybe get the ball back with time left on the clock here in the waning stages of the first half.
So 13-yard loss on that one. And they have to get down to the 32-yard line. So we're going to call it 23 yards. Carry them. We'll take one away. So yeah, 22 yards. 3rd and 22. See if they can hold them.
Right. Well, if they can, they get the ball back on a 4th down play. Makes that the call of the timeout on the 3rd down a little bit strange, but they had 2 to spare, so they're figuring if they hold them here, they're going to burn that other timeout because there is no 2-minute warning, even with 2:27 left here in the first half.
Out of the shotgun is Talpas. Man in motion for the Spartans. Another high snap. Talpas has to get it again, and he's buried at about the 32-yard line.
Wow.
And is that Andre Hunt? Nope. That is Semesi Lewicki.
Yep. We were just talking about. Let's see again here.
And Leuzinger calls their last time out of the half.
So losing her out, that was exactly what I was mentioning when they used the timeout. But they had the 2 timeouts, so they elected to use them in this set of downs, and now it is 4th and a whole
34.
bunch.
And there's
we used to
DeAnthony
say,
Jones.
4th and a country mile.
And all Talpas could do is just hold on.
Wow, everything going the Leuzinger Olympian way tonight.
And you remember how impressed we were with South against Hawthorne, and they were giant beaters. And then all of a sudden, the wheels fell off of their wagon after they beat Carpinteria, and El Segundo beat them, and nothing has been the same since.
Well, it
But
certainly
again,
hasn't. And
the injury bug has got him, and Talpas is now punting. Zuniga is out. Their offensive line must have really been hit hard by injuries because they're getting pushed around. And the punt takes a Spartan bounce down to about the 31-yard line. So with 1:57 left to go,
and if you're
the
losing
clock guy let it run a little too long, but that's okay, coach.
And that's plenty of time for the Olympians, the way they've been scoring the last 2 weeks. I mean, they're always only 1 or 2 plays away from popping it on any given play. And with the addition tonight, which we've seen of the passing game in it, as well as the run game, that makes them a dual threat, which puts even more pressure on the opposing defense.
So here comes Jackson and the Olympians. Jackson throws it out and gets it to Jackson. Malcolm and Malik, twin brothers. Andre and Antonio Hunt, twin brothers.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. So Damian Porter we were talking before the game. That one was incomplete.
And that was a drop. That goes against the quarterback. Now they'll kill the play because I think number 3 left too soon, Jeremiah Smith.
False start. So DeAnthony Jones comes back on offense. So that'll go back to the 26. First down and 15. 7th penalty of the half for Leuzinger. Jackson looking down the middle, coming this way to DeAnthony Jones, and just out of the reach. Troy Bennett on the defense. I'll tell you what, if that had another foot on it, Jones would have had himself a...
Well, let's watch the replay. It's still a drop nonetheless. It's going to go as 2 incompletes by Jackson. But once again, you see there. Now, you got to give the defender some credit.
Pad.
The defender got a hand in there. I'm struggling this view, but boy, that really was just about as much on the money as you can make it. Now you got another flag on the play, and that's going to drop him back 5 more yards. And what should have been
3rd and 15, now it'll be 3rd and 20.
A set of downs. They're going to end up giving South some hope here. And by my count, South still has 1 timeout left. They're electing to hold on to it until after this play. They know it's a 3rd and long for losing. I guarantee you, South will use that timeout if they stop them short of the first down on this 3rd and long. It's about a 3rd and 20 that the Olympians are looking at.
Big play for the sophomore quarterback, Malik Jackson. Swings it out. Wide receiver screen, naked screen, and South sniffs that out. So it'll be 4th down and not much less than 20 yards to go.
And I'm a little surprised to not see South indicating the timeout.
So they're going to give Andre Hunt 5 yards on the gain. So 1:05 left to go. Clock is running. But there's no snap clock, so Leuzinger needs to get it going in a hurry here.
Wow.
On a bounce.
Unfortunately, no pressure.
So they're going for the return, but this takes a Leuzinger bounce. Takes a lot of time. And finally downed with 41 seconds left to go on the 38-yard line. So the Spartan defense holds thanks to some Leuzinger penalties.
Well, Leuzinger penalties, but more importantly, 2 Leuzinger drops, all right, that'll go against Malik Jackson, the quarterback, and both were drops by his intended receivers.
Talpin out of the shotgun. And he's going to run it, looking to throw it, but look out. Oh, the ball squirted free,
And now
but it goes out of bounds.
Now you got a penalty on the far sideline, boy, and that one looks like it. Well, we don't know who it's going to go against, but obviously if you're losing, you're hoping that it's not against you, but let's see what the call is by the official.
Intentional grounding.
Loss of down.
So that's why the ball squirted out. Talpas just wanted to get rid of it before he got annihilated. He dodged a missile there and said, "Look out!" There comes Fakava. Says, "Here, if I feed you, will you go away?"
You're right.
It's like a bear coming down at you.
And so that makes it a 2nd and 20 now for the South Spartans.
And they could get one more play in there.
I wouldn't even chance it. I think if you're them, you go to the locker room, regroup. I mean, anything you run now, you've got to run it quickly.
So Sean Fitzgerald, no gain.
Comes back out with 8 seconds on. They aren't going to run a play, Lou. I didn't think they would. Let's see. Clock's winding down.
They're lining up.
1. That's it.
That's going to do it. So go to the half, 27-0, Leuzinger over South. And a bit of a shocker tonight, Rufus.
To say the least. It's a bit of a shocker. But on senior night here at Olympian Field, the Leuzinger Olympians, wow, in a stunning lead 27-0 over the league leading in the Pioneer League, South Spartans.
That's right. And North is playing Torrance tonight. West is playing Centennial. Those are the top 3. So the Leuzinger Olympians could at least be tied or maybe hop over West.
Right. Well, they certainly, at the rate they're going, and it's still too early. I mean, it's still too early, but, boy, things are looking mighty good right now for the Leuzinger Olympians.
All right. Don't see anybody getting ready for an interview for halftime. Do we have anything, Tom? All right. Well, then why don't we add up our numbers, and we will be back with the third quarter right after this.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
Still halftime here on senior night with the Lou House. The Leuzinger Olympians beaten up on the South Spartans so far, 27-0, along with Rufus Washington, McCall Hall, Tamara Latza, Karen Bright, and the four-time Star Award-winning crew. I'm Lou Stowers. Let's go over some of the numbers for South. The numbers are quite amazing as the torch burns brightly tonight. Cameron Dillon, 8 carries for 9 yards net. Zuniga, who is injured and may have a head injury, let's hope not. 1 out of 7 for 2 yards, 2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown, and 2 penalties for 20 yards. As Adrian Acosta is getting ready to tee it up and kick it off. Adrian Galeras, 7 carries, 60 yards, 1 touchdown. Daniel Carmichael, 4 carries, 92 yards and a touchdown. And Little Train Smith, 2 carries, 43 yards. And Malik Jackson, 6 out of 9, 146 yards and a touchdown. Pretty impressive for a half.
And 2 of those 3 misses for Jackson were pure drops. All right.
And one by his twin brother. Richardson is set to receive this kick on a bounce at about the 17-yard line. And look out, gets caught by the shirt tail and dragged down from behind.
You got to see who got that hand in there. We see Fakava getting up from the crowd. I'm not sure it was him, but boy, whoever
Alex
it
Ross.
was, they did a great job of stopping him. Wow. Actually,
that's Fakava.
Yep, indeed it was.
Okay, so third quarter, here we go. Let's see who's out of quarterback for South. It is Trevor Talpas.
So that means we're not likely to see Zuniga anymore in this contest.
Throws the ball, it was completed to the receiver on the far side. That's Tanner Thompson. And the first completion of the evening for Talpas.
And Talpas that time actually running to his right and throws left. I had said earlier you wouldn't see him do that often. And of course, what happens is first pass of the second half, he does just that, runs right, throws left.
31 yards. Well, you got to do something when you have 27 points to make up. So 31 yards on the first play of the third quarter. So let's hope that Leuzinger keeps their focus. And now back in the ball game is Zuniga. Zuniga runs the ball out of bounds down to the 44-yard line, they're going to call it.
Zuniga returned to the game. He keeps the pass, keeps the run correct.
So another.
Second down and 8 for the
And
Spartans.
so that's 2
46
wrinkles.
yards, excuse me.
2 wrinkles in a row that South has thrown at us. Coach Waybright, boy, looking to shake up his offense a little bit. Runs 2 quarterbacks, but the good thing is you're glad to see Zuniga, the senior starting quarterback, back out on the field.
Turns around and hands the ball off to Dillon. Dillon is hit in the backfield. There was nowhere to go, and a great play by Jeremiah Smith to tackle him in the backfield, and a huge loss, Rufus, back to the 50-yard line, a 4-yard loss.
So that.
So it'll be 3rd down and 11. But there was just nowhere.
And Milwaukee getting in at the end to clean it up after Smith had made the initial hit. Big 3rd down play for both teams right here. If you're Leuzinger.
Pass is complete to Richardson, but not enough for the first down, Rufus, as Kieran Santos on the defense, hit him immediately. So it's 4th down now, and you would think that you talk about 4-down territory, this would be it, 4th down and 3.
Oh, this definitely is. When you're trailing by 27 starting the second half, you really don't have many options when it comes to this type of situation.
Longest completion of the night for Zuniga, first catch for Richardson.
Big 4th down play for the Leuzinger defense right here.
Zuniga, pass, man over the middle, is complete, and still on his feet, breaks a tackle, and inside the 5-yard line, Andre Hunt came out of nowhere to swoop down and tackle the Spartan. That was Lawrence Masonette.
And it looks like what you mentioned earlier in this possession with regard to the Olympians maintaining their focus and staying sharp. I mean, here was the reception right here. It was already a 1st down play. And you see a couple of guys not really giving their all to make the tackle. And just like that, they're down now in the red zone with a scoring opportunity, and it looks like
they did. Into the end zone, touchdown, and I believe Zuniga took it in himself.
So
no wonder. Boy, I don't even think I would have been wanted to be a fly on the wall in the South Spartans locker room with Josh Waybright chewing on everybody's behind back there.
Well, I can assure you wouldn't want to be a fly on the field anywhere now on the Leuzinger sideline, because you can rest assured as the coaching staff heads out to meet them halfway as they're coming off the field.
So Zuniga did make the touchdown run, 4 yards. 9:26. So we'll call it 2.5 minutes. And 80 yards on the drive. 6 plays. Zuniga with a 4-yard run, but 2 big pass plays. 138 yards, and an 8-yard pass. And then a big 3rd down play as well, if I recall.
Exactly, it was. And they had him in a 3rd and a spot, and they actually went for a pass play. It was about a 3rd and 3. Actually, it was a 4th down play. That was the big play of the drive on the 4th and 3 that they converted. And that 4th and 3 went all the way down inside the 5-yard line. Leuzinger prepared for an onside kick, but it's kicked away.
Cuts it, hits it high.
You got to get on that. Whoa, that ball's
loose.
It
looks like South is trying to get on it. And coming up with the ball
and now
is
we've got
Little
an
Train
Olympian
Smith
down on the field.
I can't see that, who it is. Maybe we can find it on a replay. If it's number 9, that would be Andre Hunt.
Well, let's see for sure. If he thinks, that means he doesn't know.
And that was another point of interest during Coach Porter's and my conversation about Andre Hunt being one of the better athletes on this team, maybe the best. Just a sophomore. And there's Andre there. He slips and comes up with the ball and is just blasted. And so Andre gets up and runs off the field. So he just gets blasted. So I'm sure he'll sit out a couple of plays, but I'm sure he'll want to get right back in there.
So what you've got is that right now, Leuzinger really not starting this second half in the same way that they played and ended the first half. And that was with positive momentum. And right now, this drive, which is going to start at the 15-yard line.
So they need to get that energy back and forget about the score. So Jackson out of the shotgun. Hands the ball off. This will be see how the running game goes as Carmichael spins his way to about the 18-yard line. And this is going to be a real telltale sign how see if they can keep the run game going.
Exactly. Well, this whole drive is going to be big for the Olympians as it is. And they want to pick up a couple of first downs, eat clock, and really they want to keep the same type, keep doing what they were doing. You can't have any let up. And right now it looks like they've let up that extra long halftime that you talked about. I mean, these guys play to a certain rhythm.
As now Carmichael gets that big first down, is still on his feet, trying to rip the ball out, but finally out of bounds as he was taken out of bounds by Patrick Patterson. But a huge first down near the 40-yard line, actually 45-yard line they're going to call it.
And I can't emphasize how big that first down was in terms of getting the kind of momentum that Leuzinger needed going back their way. As you see on the replay, Carmichael just driving. The South defender there struggling to bring him down. Don't have him in your program. South provides a very sketchy program. They don't even provide a program on Max Preps.
Here comes the end around, the reverse to Smith, and Smith barely gets around the corner, and he's tackled. Number 11 is Patrick Patterson. And maybe gets to the 45-yard line.
And he was only a step away from breaking it. As you'll see the replay here, a little trickeration by Leuzinger on the play.
And so I want to thank Karen Bright for getting number 11's number on South. Patrick Patterson, also number 53 is Kevin Oliva for Leuzinger, was number 57. Now he's number 53 tonight.
Okay.
So thanks to Karen for that. And a holding call now against Leuzinger, Rufus. That was. Eight penalties for 60 yards in the first half, Rufus. Now 9 penalties for 70.
And a backward step for the Leuzinger offense, boy.
So it goes back to the 35, so it's 1st and 20. Jackson gets some of it back with a completed pass along the far sideline to Tariq Culpepper.
Gets about 7 of it back to make it a second down and about 13. They're at the 40 to pick up the first down. They've got to move in the South territory and get the ball down to about the South 46-yard line. At their own 40, I should be saying, just for clarity's sake.
Ball is handed off to Galera. Galera gets into the defensive backfield up across the 45-yard line to about the 46. So it's going to be 3rd down and long for the Olympians.
But the key is, and as I mentioned, what was important for the Olympians was that this drive started at their own 15-yard line. They're out near midfield, so even if they have to punt, they should be able to force to pin South back against their own goal line.
Jackson back to pass, comes around to the sideline, is caught at the 49-yard line. So we'll see if it's going to be 4th down territory. That was to Jackson, Malcolm Jackson. So a 4-yard gain.
Now, interesting decision by the Leuzinger coaching staff now because it's a 4th and about 2. All right, and the question is, do you punt here or do you go for it, man? And they're going to go for it, and they've got Facava lined up in the backfield as a fullback, as a blocking back.
Galera goes in, and
Wow.
oh, my goodness, here comes a flag.
Well, is it a flag or, well, let's see. I guess.
It's a flag. Came flying in. So holding against Leuzinger. So it's going to go back from about the 49-yard line. So it'll go back to the 39-yard.
Right, it's going to be 4th down, and that'll change.
No, it's going to.
Well, the key is, Lou, that changes the equation
41.
completely for the Olympians, and it takes them out of a made first down into a punting situation.
So, yeah, a true first down. So 6:15 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Leuzinger will punt the ball away, and it was partially blocked. You can hear that from up here as Culpepper punted it. Takes a Leuzinger bounce down inside the 15-yard line to the 16. It'll be 1st and 10 for South. Let's go down to Tamara.
Well, it looks like Andre Hunter took a blow to the head, and he is being tested for a concussion. His chances of returning to the game are very, very small. They said he might not return. We'll keep an eye out on him. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Tamara. So 10 penalties for 80 yards for Leuzinger. And that one cost him a first down, that last one.
It did, but, you know, here's what's important, and I mentioned this earlier in the possession. The fact that South is at the 15-yard line is virtue of the fact that Carmichael on the run, they got from against their own end line, got it out to midfield, which helped their cause immensely.
Pass is complete from Zuniga to Masonette. And that's almost a first down, Rufus, about 8 yards.
Definitely a 2nd and short situation for South, and they're looking to pick up as many first downs and move the ball up the field as quickly as they can. Still plenty of time left in this football game. We're only halfway through the 3rd quarter.
But it had to be a big lift for the Spartans to get Zuniga back. So far it has been. They've gotten their first touchdown. Now look out. Here comes the pressure from Leuzinger again. And almost picked up by Leuzinger. Masonette was the intended receiver. Malcolm Jackson was there. Facava was there. I think Malcolm Jackson was the one who almost intercepted that ball.
Well, it was almost intercepted twice.
Yep. So it's going to be 3rd down and a long 3.
As we see
Look
on
at
the
that
replay
pressure
here, good footwork. Now, I thought that there, Fisher decided it wasn't a lot of contact. There you see the first handle on the ball, and then it definitely goes through.
Right through the wickets. Yeah, it looked like a block in the back on Milwaukee. So 3rd down, big 3rd down for Leuzinger defense. Are they going to blitz? Yep. Zuniga back to pass, has a man open, and a little pushing and shoving, and Harrison can't get underneath it as he was being guarded by Antonio Hunt, Andre's brother.
And the ball was definitely uncatchable, which is why you didn't see a call being made against the defensive effort by the Olympians.
That was just a little bit of pushing and shoving amongst friends.
So on the 4th down play, it looks like South's going to bring in their punting unit, and that's partially because a lot of respect for the Leuzinger defense, which has played very well tonight. And now Leuzinger looks like they'll have the opportunity to get the ball back in good field position, but keep in mind that the punter back there is the quarterback, Zuniga.
No, it's the backup quarterback, Talpas. Actually, yeah, it is Zuniga back there. with Talpas, and they're going to go for it. Pitches the ball to Zuniga, and that's going to be a first down.
And it's
but
going
let's
to be
see.
a flag, and that's going to go against Leuzinger. Boy, it looks like that's going to be well, it's enough for the first down as it is, but at any rate, looks like they're going to tack on a penalty against the Olympians on top of it.
Well, you had the two quarterbacks out there, Talpas and Zuniga. So let's see what the officiating crew comes up with.
Wow. Well, they're taking a long time to sort this out. It's not as clear-cut maybe as we thought it was.
I just saw the referee point to the right, to the eastern goal line. So it's going to go back. Maybe there was a hold or an illegal block. Whatever it is, well, it's only 5 yards.
Face
mask.
Wow.
So the
well,
not serious variety.
But was that not a fourth down play? So
Yep.
that should be first down for Leuzinger then.
It should be. And now they're changing sides. At least. Well, I don't know. They're getting the punting team out now. So maybe it's on the big infraction.
Well, you know.
But you got to be consistent, right?
Well, it's that, and this whole penalty enforcement has gotten to be just a tad bit confusing. But I think the reason they're replaying the fourth is because of the fact
a bad snap, or did
a bad decision that time,
or was it did the snap go back to Talpas?
Well, it was a design. It was a design play that ran out of the Wildcat basically, and boy, that didn't fool Leuzinger at all.
That's right. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And Fakava was there to make the big play.
We see the tail end of it there. Well, I'm not so sure about that decision by the South coaching staff, man, to take that kind of gamble. But I guess if you want to get back in it, and here's my thought. I mean, you got plenty of time. You got 16 minutes left in the ball game, and to give Leuzinger the ball at the 22-yard line at your own 22. Wow.
Ball is handed off up the middle
by Galera, and he picks up about 5 on the play.
Adrian down to the 16-yard line. So 5 yards, second down.
And if I'm the Olympians, I'm going to be content to keep the ball on the ground. I've got a heck of a ground game as it is with Carmichael, with Galera, and a couple other guys.
Lil Train.
And Lil Train in addition to that. So, I mean, unless I'm playing pitch and catch with wide open receivers as Jackson drops back to pass. And
has a man open, caught, touchdown Leuzinger. And that was Tariq Culpepper with a touchdown catch. And that makes it 33-7 Leuzinger.
And that was a 16-yard, and that's what I just said, unless you're playing pitch and catch, which Jackson was with Culpepper. And you'll see it right there.
Wide open.
That's pitch and catch.
Yep.
Okay.
Beautiful pass by the sophomore to the junior. So Adrian Acosta out of the hold of Culpepper. And this one is up, but wide left. So this one, that's the first miss for Acosta. He had one blocked. So it's 33-7 is our score. So Jackson, his second touchdown pass tonight to Culpepper. 16 yards.
So Leuzinger responds to the touchdown that they gave up in the early stages of the third quarter. That touchdown, of course, set up by the fact that Coach Waybright and their coaching staff, boy, took a huge gamble, lost, and Leuzinger made him pay dearly for it.
It's a two-play, 21-yard drive, Rufus, that took all of 42 seconds, capped off by Malik Jackson, 16 yards to Tariq Culpepper.
And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, fans, that's when they went for it on 4th down at their own 22-yard line. And we've got a moment to get a hit from McCall Hall.
All right, you guys know about Peyton Manning in Omaha, but there's another audible out on the field right now. Give a lot of credit to the Leuzinger defense for picking up on the audible. During a last play, there was a fake. The South coach yelled out potato, and immediately the Leuzinger defense recognized that audible, made the adjustment, picked up on the fake, and made a stop. So it's not just in the NFL. Code words are being used right here, right at Leuzinger High School. Back to you guys.
Yeah, that's where you learn them in high school. Now they're teaching them probably in the little kids' youth league.
And it looks
and
like
you scratch your head. It's like red, what, Bronco, what?
Right.
No, left.
Somehow or another, Omaha has a little more ring to it than potato.
But what if they say potato?
And on that special teams play, here's what you had happen. Leuzinger, the down lineman left a little bit too soon. They were offside, and so they've got to re-kick it, this time from the 35-yard line.
So Adrian Acosta getting ready to kick it off again. And kicks it high. Picked up on a bounce by Patterson. He keeps it on the fake at about the 14-yard line. He gets up to the 34-yard line. Getting up off the bottom of the pile, Jeremiah Smith, and not a bad return for Patterson.
21-yard return by Patterson.
At the 35-yard line. So see that little trickery between he and Troy Bennett. And a nice tackle. Let's watch the number 3 train come. Oh, there's Fakab. I don't want to go that way.
Right. Well,
so he did make the tackle. Man.
Big night for Fakaba, but I got to tell you, he's in the running, man.
He sure is.
He is in the running.
For what's that now again, Rufus? we got to remind our fans.
Hey, he's in the running for either player of the game.
Wide open, caught inside the 35-yard line. And a spectacular catch by Tanner Thompson laying out. So the Spartans are not going quietly into this night, onto senior night. So they mark it at the 32-yard line of Leuzinger.
And the Leuzinger defensive backs nowhere in sight on that play. As you can see there, the closest guy was Kyron Santos.
So 36 yards and a first down. Zuniga passes incomplete, but whistles halted play with 3:15 left in the third quarter. Offside on Leuzinger. So maybe they have lost a little bit of focus here. That's the third penalty here in the third quarter.
And that's one of those penalties when we talk about how you change the game and so forth. And I think eventually they're gonna want to get to where those type of defensive penalties don't kill the play. I mean, you let it go and it becomes a free play, just like at every other level, or higher level, I should say.
Fitzgerald in the backfield, but back to pass and towards the end zone, but it's picked off by Leuzinger in the end zone, and running out is Santos. Santos getting up near the 20-yard line, and that's the third interception of the night by Leuzinger on Zuniga.
And Kyron Santos with that interception, I mentioned last time, he was the guy closest. Let's go down sideline too. Ooh.
Oh,
let's go.
Sorry.
We'll stay with the replay then and watch and see the interception there by Santos. And he's looking at a lot of real estate in front of him. He's not a bad running back himself as well. So once again, another great look at the interception by Santos.
Let's go to Tamara right now.
One of the doctors on the sideline, and he told me that Andre Hunt has a concussion and will be out for the remainder of the game. He said he had some tingling in his fingers and his head was hurting very bad, and he will be out for the remaining of the game.
But here comes Carmichael. He's still in the ball game. Gets inside the 40-yard line of South. And I tell you what, Daniel's in the running too, with 2:41 left to go in the third quarter. So down to the Olympian 37-yard line. So we'll call it 43 yards.
Okay.
Ball is handed off, and Carmichael again still out there. Gets about a yard. So 2nd and 9. So now Daniel comes off. Gets a pat on the head from Coach Porter, but nice run. Nathan Kaupua with the tackle. Under 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Jackson has Galera back with him, throws it along the sideline, and is picked up by Culpepper, and he's near the 20-yard line. So the Olympians are now found their second win, maybe. Down to the 21-yard line. That's a first down, Rufus.
That's a first down, and boy, you're right. They picked up their momentum again here in the second half. Minute and some change left here in the quarter, minute 38. And Leuzinger, other than the early touchdown they gave, they've turned them back twice now here in the quarter.
Here comes Little Train. Smith into the end zone. Touchdown, Leuzinger. Wow. Culpepper, Little Train, Galera.
And that was a 20-yard touchdown run for Little Train.
At the 131 mark, Rufus, that came off of the interception. So another turnover. I believe that's the third interception of the night. Trying to go through my notes here.
Well, we know
can't
for
even read my
certain
own
it's
writing.
the second one, because Facava with the first one returned it for a touchdown, and we just saw that one. And you're right. I do believe I don't have a note on the other one, but
that was just a bad kick. That kick was a worm killer. So second miss for Acosta, but it's 39-7 in favor of Leuzinger. So let's hope that Andre Hunt, his bell isn't rung too much, but a concussion, you just got to be careful with those things, Rufus.
Right.
So that was a 4-play drive, 80 yards, that took a minute 11. PAT no good. So Acosta getting ready to kick it off again. Yeah, there was a third interception. I believe that wasn't that D'Antoni Jones that intercepted it?
I think you're right, Matt. Now that I think about it.
So yeah, 3 interceptions. I have that officially and unofficially now. As the kick is picked up, and now it's given over on the sideline, and he gets away. And that's Richardson. Richardson getting all the way near midfield to about the 46-yard line.
So, and I hate to beat the same drum, but again, as we said, once again, these are the type of special team plays that you've got to tighten up. I mean,
absolutely.
Too many times they've given South the benefit of huge returns on these kickoffs.
So that was a beautiful move right there by Richardson, but still, you're right, Rufus. Great field position for Zuniga.
I mean,
and
Costa's made at least 3 touchdown saving tackles, and he's the kicker.
Maybe that's why his leg's tired.
Right.
So Zuniga to the 50-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 6. So Gabriel's playing with some reckless abandon after getting his bell rung. Out of the eye with Fitzgerald as the halfback. He'll get the ball, and there's
and
Milwaukee with the big tackle.
That's what you want to see from the D1 player.
Woo. So that one goes back to the 46-yard line, back to the original line of scrimmage. 47, we'll call it.
And again, what we talked about, Lou, that's about putting Milwaukee in a different position on the defensive line. An adjustment that Coach Porter and his coaching staff made about the 3rd or 4th game in when they realized that they weren't getting the maximum potential out of Milwaukee.
Zuniga.
Okay.
So Zuniga gets
yeah. And that was a bad decision there by
David Phillips and DeAnthony Jones.
Well, that's going to give them that should be an automatic first down there because it's going to be a personal foul penalty against DeAnthony Jones.
And it should have been 4th down and long.
Right now, interesting enough, and we're going to see the play here. And what you're going to see is the throw to the ground.
And they had him right there, but then.
Well, I say there was DeAnthony Jones. DeAnthony, how are you an apology?
That was David Phillips.
It was number 21. Look, visual dyslexia by me on that one.
Yeah, both of us. So 10 yards and a first down. Zuniga running for his life, throws, is caught, another first down.
No, it's intercepted.
Was it intercepted?
Yes, it went right through the hand of his intended receiver.
Montero Wynn Jr.
And he's got
Wynn inside of South Territory, finally brought down by Zuniga. And Wynn gives himself some applause.
Now that's the 4th interception.
I thought it was caught.
It was. When you see the replay, you're going to see it go right through the hand of the intended receiver.
Okay, there we go. Zuniga on the run, throws it. Well, you can't really see it from that angle.
But what you see was what you see
or did it take? Oh, that was Talpas.
Yeah.
It went through the hands of Talpas. So now, what do we got going on down here? Is there a timeout on the field or what?
No.
So, what is there, a penalty on?
Yes, there was a horse collar tackle. I think it was the indication against South.
Okay. So 4 interceptions. Called it, marked it off. So
and if we get a chance to see.
Yeah, went right off of Talpas and into the hands of Wynn Jr. See, there's Talpas going, ay, ay, ay. And now timeout. So a timeout on the field, but there's Monteiro Wynn Jr. running it up. The junior.
He's telling him to roll the clock up. I don't think he's seeing it yet. Well.
Oh, we're going to,
now
it's the 4th quarter, so maybe he wants to get it back to 12 minutes.
Okay. Well, that's right, because I thought that came as we were ending the 3rd quarter, but we'll see. So.
There you go. Clock's all better.
All right. So it's going to be Leuzinger's ball going in. When they come out of this, Leuzinger will have the ball at the 20-yard line, going toward the end zone, and they're 1 score away, believe it or not, from putting even a field goal at this point would put South in the mercy rule.
So we're going to call it officially the 21-yard line, Rufus. And 39-7 is our score. And let's see if Leuzinger goes for the end zone right now. Jackson hands it off to Galera. You never know. He's been running, and he's down inside the 10-yard line. He's been running great all night. Gets down to about the 6-yard line.
Boy, he picks up about 15 on that carry for Adrian Galera. As you see on the replay there, Galera running hard, and he had the end zone in sight. That
sure
line
did.
that you see is the 5. They
There's
give
Galera
it to him again,
and he's in
and
the
that's
end
a
zone.
touchdown for the senior.
Leuzinger. With 11:26 left to go in the game. Makes it 45-7, and the clock continues to roll.
6-yard run by Galera. Boy, Leuzinger hitting on all cylinders. Believe it or not, Lou, and as we see the replay once again, and what I like about the decision-making by the coaching staff, and we've seen it a couple of times, we saw with Carmichael earlier, if you do the work, you get the reward, okay?
Adrian Acosta.
High snap, it's down, up, good. Whoa, they say no good from here. Looked awfully good,
no?
man. They said no.
Okay. So he missed that one had to be wide to the left because it looked good from this angle. 45-7, Rufus.
That's a running clock situation. That's a 37-point lead, 38-point lead. You only need 35, and now the clock starts to run, and it won't stop running except for a timeout.
So a touchdown for Adrian Galera, his second of the night, Rufus. His first one was 14 yards. This one's 6 yards. Galera.
So Galera, the senior.
Call this Adrian Galera. 21-yard drive. 2 plays, 36 seconds.
So Lil Train Smith is a senior.
We've got 15 seniors on the Leuzinger roster tonight.
And you've got 1, 2, 3 of them who scored tonight. Let me see, Wynn Jr.
He is a junior.
He's a junior. Culpepper, let's see what class is Culpepper in.
Isn't he a senior? No, junior.
He's a junior, okay.
So I'll tell you what, we got
Got some hard decisions to make tonight, brother. That one's going to sail out of bounds.
Yep.
And they'll have to re-kick from the 35-yard line. They'll back them up 5. But think about this. Leuzinger in 2 weeks has scored combined 105 points. We saw signs early in the season that they had scoring potential. Remember the first game against Morningside, they put up 38, I believe, or something like that, 34 points and lost. And it was like, wow. And Coach Porter kept telling us as we went along, guys, wait.
Yeah, just wait. You got to wait.
Just wait. And, boy, we waited through 5 losses along the way.
It was worth the wait.
But, boy, it has come back, and right now they're going to be no worse after this game than in second place in the Pioneer League.
So they've gone from the outhouse to the penthouse this season.
All right, now let's see how they rule this. I always want to know.
Should it be on the 20-yard line?
No. They would bring it out to the 35 or 40 unless they have them kick again. And it looks like they're going to have them kick one more time. Well, I thought actually to answer the question, if it goes out of bounds again, I thought actually after the second time it went out of bounds, the ball was brought out to the 40, and that's what the official is indicating, that we're going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. That there's
1st and 10 for the Spartans at the 40-yard line with 7 minutes left to go. The clock is running because Leuzinger has, 35?
35.
Okay, 35-point
lead.
Even though it's 45 to 7. So it's a 37-point lead. Excuse me, 38. So maybe while we have some time here, Rufus, so you can explain some of the playoff implications and something that you brought up at halftime, if you want to do that. But there goes the bad snap. And I'm willing to bet that the center for South is one of those injured players, because that's been a problem all night long.
Right, or one of the replacement players. You're right. The center who's not snapping is the injured guy, and the guy who is snapping is the replacement guy.
And we can check that out. Richard Salvador. Well, he's still listed. Let's see who comes out and takes the ball on the snap. It's number 72, Sean Humphrey, who's not center. He's bigger than your average center. Sean is 6'1", 245. As Fitzgerald running now. And gets some yardage, positive yardage back, gets up to about the 45-yard line. Richard Salvador, 5'10", 240. So you can see there's a difference right there in size.
Right. Well, and you were mentioning about the playoffs, and as the clock runs and Zuniga comes back to get under center, what I was mentioning was that there are 13 different divisions, playoff groupings for CIF, and the Western Division has the Pioneer League in it, which Leuzinger plays in. They have 2 guaranteed spots, when actually they should have 3 because they're a 16 league.
Oh, wow, it's caught there. That's caught by Masonette, and he waltzes into the end zone. Touchdown for the Spartans at 4:50, and the clock stops. So
we watch the replay here.
56-yard pass play.
So South still playing, and actually a fortunate catch that time by Masonette. As you mentioned, the Leuzinger defenders were in pretty decent position on the play.
but not real tight. As Fakava came back in to see, there's 3 Leuzinger Olympians around the ball. Fakava was in pass coverage, but then he came back to cover Zuniga. So offsides on Leuzinger. Thirteenth penalty for 100 yards. So Patterson will hold. And that was blocked, but it still went through. So it's, go ahead, Rufus.
Extra point is good, and I mean, it makes it a 45-14 game, a little window dressing for South. Clock continues to run. Well, you're at 3 minutes, 13 seconds. This game, you can now actually start to talk about this Leuzinger victory because it is now assured. Here's the first thing that's going to happen. It's going to move them up to second place at worst, depending upon the outcome of the North game. And I think North was playing who tonight? North was playing Centennial.
Playing Torrance, and then West was playing Centennial.
Okay, North was playing Torrance. Torrance struggling on the season. They were going into that game 0-7. We're going to assume for the moment that North won, which puts North at the top at 3-0. Leuzinger in second place at 2-1. South will also be 2-1, and my hunch is that West beat Centennial, and West will be 2-1. So, boy, you got a bit of a log jam there because West beat Leuzinger.
Right.
All right, but Leuzinger beat South, so I'm going to guess that West actually is the second place team and Leuzinger is the third place team.
Okay. So, yeah, it's going to look like the 405 at 5 o'clock.
Right.
Second place is anyway. Kutch to kick the ball off and pooches it, and it goes on a bounce, picked up by Leuzinger, coming across to the near side, and we have a flag on the play.
And that's going to be a block in the back against Leuzinger, where I saw the same thing the ref saw. He threw his flag, and that's going to back him up.
So it's Tariq Culpepper with the return with 1:30 left to go.
Trying to find the Leuzinger schedule, and boy, we also haven't taken a moment to talk about it. Although we're in the waning session of this game, got to give a hats off to Hawthorne, which is 2-0 and tied for the league in the Ocean League, along with Lawndale, which is 2-0.
All right.
So both of those teams, I mean, and Lawndale is just a beast this year. They're the best team in the South Bay, literally.
And what a I'm not going to say a turnaround, but with the same athletes that Coach Mateu had, the new coach has really put in Matheson. Travis Clark has really put a charge into those Cardinals. So Leuzinger looks like they're just going to genuflect a knee and go home with this one. With 25 seconds left to go, a hard-fought battle by Leuzinger, and they really take care of business on senior night. And Lewacki, did you see how high he got?
Wow.
Did you just see how high Lewacki got? Is he playing basketball? He might, says Coach Autry. Okay.
Clock winds down on
there you have it. A wonderful
great
game.
Victory for the Leuzinger Olympians tonight here against the league-leading 6-1 South Spartans, who come in here leading the Pioneer League, and they go out. Can you imagine that you come in the lead and go out in fourth place?
It's a shock to me, Rufus. It really is.
Right.
They brought a lot of people here tonight too, and that's good to see them come across the 405. But I'll tell you what, Rufus, this Leuzinger Olympian team has really come together under another spark plug, Damian Porter and his band of assistant coaches. And they really have done well. And have listened to their coaches and have really come together. The defense was swarming. Defense, the defensive backfield led by former UCLA Bruin Anthony Cobb. And so it's got to be strange for Anthony Cobb, and I know it's strange for me to hear the Leuzinger band play the SC fight song. But hey, we'll take it. 45-13.
Boy, as the South squad heads off, you see them on the left side of your screen. A very dejected squad in terms of a night in which things did not turn out the way in which they came here and expected it. But the Leuzinger faithful, as you mentioned, boy, they are just excited, ecstatic. Senior night, what a wonderful way to close out your career at home. They're hoping there's more football. Well, there's certainly more regular season football in their future. But right now, Leuzinger has gotten back in the thick of things in terms of a playoff hunt. And that is just a great testament to what Coach Porter has done with this program.
And next week, Leuzinger is at North. So
on the road.
What a game that's going to be. I mean, that's the game for first place.
It absolutely is. All of a sudden, who'd have thunk it?
And at the beginning of the year,
and
I don't know.
And I was looking at the schedule, and you can't predict anything. But you say for a moment that Leuzinger is going to win one of these next two. All right, that puts them at 3-2. But hey, we've got McCall Hall, and she's with Coach Porter. So let's go down to McCall. Tamara Loud, excuse me.
Coach, how were you able to have so much success out here tonight?
Credit to the kids. They played hard. You still got to clean up a little bit of the penalties and the mistakes, but we've been getting better. In the past couple of weeks, we've been playing up to our potential, so we're excited about the outcome. Our kids are getting better. We're happy.
Your kids came out here. They competed tonight, played with a lot of heart. You were over there smiling from head to toe. You were smiling. How did it make you feel to just see your kids come out here and compete and give it all they got?
Proud. Those are the things that we've been talking about all year. Earlier in the season, we weren't getting that kind of effort, so we weren't getting the results. The past 2 or 3 weeks, the effort's been a little bit better, the execution's been a little bit better, so the results been a little bit better. So I'm proud of my team. They competed well. You're right.
I know you said you guys weren't competing like this at first, so how do you carry over a win like this?
The wins kind of take care of themselves. We preach two things: do your job and be physical. In the past 2 or 3 weeks, again, we've been more consistent in our execution and our effort, and the results, they'll speak for themselves.
All right, Coach, thank you, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Tamara. Adrian Galera, 11 carries, 102 yards, and 2 touchdowns today.
Absolutely. And as Tamara said, well, when you smile, now, an ear-to-ear smile is pretty big. I can't imagine how big a head-to-toe smile is. But hey.
My, has that smile grown.
That's a huge smile. But a deserving one because, again.
Well, it was a jaw-dropping win tonight.
It absolutely was. And congratulations to the Olympians. Boy, what a great night here at Olympian Field.
That's right.
For this squad, and a tough night for a very good South squad, who it just wasn't their night. And Leuzinger now, as you said, travel to North next week, and the week after that they travel to Compton Centennial. So things are looking pretty good for them. Hey, let's go over to McCall Hall, and guess who she has?
I don't know. Let's find out.
D1 commit, Samisi Lawaki.
All right, you guys, very impressive win tonight from Leuzinger. I'm here with defensive end and senior Samisi Luwaki. Samisi is also a verbal commit to Utah, and tonight was his senior night. So, Samisi, pretty much, I want to know, what does this win mean for your team? I mean, it's a big time during the season. You guys have an opportunity to make a nice playoff push. What does this, win mean for you guys?
It means a lot because, just because of how we were in the past, people were just downing us the whole week saying, oh, man, they're 6-1, you guys are winning or won or something. We don't have a good record. So everybody was just like, oh, man, this game ain't worth it. And plus, the school has never beat South Torrance in a while. So it felt good to come out here and change the whole thing around and get people's thoughts to turn around and come and support us some more.
Absolutely. And you mentioned you guys haven't beaten South in a while, and you're a senior. So just kind of looking back over the last 4 years and whatnot, just kind of walk us through what you're feeling right now as a senior, getting ready to head off and dominating the Pac-12 conference. What does this mean for you on tonight?
It means a lot. Honestly, the thing that every time I'm asked that question is because honestly, I lost both my parents, and people thought I'll let down on that, but I actually put that as a motivation, and I told myself over this past summer that I was gonna change all of that. I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna get recruited, all this and that, and I'm gonna take the family somewhere. So it actually means a lot to me tonight.
Well, I'm sure they are very proud. We are very proud. And the Pacific 12 Conference has one heck of a player headed out next fall. Samisi Luwaki, defensive end, Leuzinger High School. Thank you, guys. Great game. See you next week.
All right. Thank you very much, McCall Hall, with Samisi Luwaki. Good luck to him. And, boy, what a young man he is there, standing tall. But you know what? McCall is almost looking him straight in the eye at 6'4".
Right. Well, she was a Pac-12 athlete herself now.
UW Husky.
But
I'll tell you what, if Chris Wilson from USC is still here tonight, he's going to try to tackle him right now. But, boy, what a game he had. Had a sack and starting to learn that game and move around. Maybe they're giving him loosening that leash a little bit.
Well, they are, and as I say, I'll repeat it again. I've said it many times, but it was critical for Samisi's development, for his opportunity to shine. As you know, the first time we saw Leuzinger, they had him at defensive end. And I made the comment then, hey, this is really tough for him because he's not getting to be a part of the game because the teams are simply running in the opposite direction. They rarely ran toward him, and plus that was making his lateral pursuit that much farther. Boy, they made an adjustment. They made him interior lineman. They put him in that position as a tackle, and all of a sudden things opened up. The defense got better, and Samisi was able to be much more a factor for the Olympians. And as a result, this is what you see the last two games where the Olympians offensively have put up 105 points. But more important is what they've done defensively. In the last 2 weeks, they've held teams to a total of 30. 13 tonight, 17 last week. That's an average of 15 points a game when you're averaging 50 a game.
That's getting it done. And Damian Porter, during our conversation before the game, he says, I'm so excited about this team because everything is coming together at the right time of the year.
Right. And when I saw him put 60, and you heard me ask him, Coach, did you guys spend everything you had last week when you scored 60? And he said, no, there's more where that came from. And, boy, he wasn't kidding.
Yep.
He dropped another 45 against a very good team. But you're right, the road doesn't get easier. The road gets tougher next week as they now go on the road and play at North. That's going to be, as you say, a very, very critical game for them.
They got an A+ tonight with a big 45-13 win over South and are in second place now in the Pioneer League. And don't think anyone has anything else to say down below. So we are going to take a timeout on City TV and decide. We got a tough decision ourselves.
A couple of tough decisions.
On who the player of the game and, more importantly, who the tip of the hat is. Coming up next.
Hi, I'm Donnell Beverly from the University of Connecticut, home of the 2011 National Championship UConn Huskies basketball team, and your Leuzinger Olympians.
Beverly around the back, follow-away jumper. Good, beautiful shot.
It wasn't too long ago that I was playing basketball right here.
I just want to thank him for having me here. I'm honored to play here.
And the Huskies are the top dog in 2011.
Winning the NCAA championship has always been a goal of mine, but so is getting a great education that will last me a lifetime. You can achieve your goals too. All you have to do is work hard and dream hard, and you can do anything you put your mind to.
All right, back here at Olympian Field on the campus of Leuzinger High School, a big 45-13 win for the Olympians over South. And it was a 45-14, pardon me. And I tell you what, Rufus, a big win for these Olympians tonight, because now they're all of a sudden in second place in the Pioneer League.
They certainly are, and a win that in some quarters wasn't even expected. And certainly, if they were going to win, it wasn't expected that they'd blow them out the way they did. A very good South team, but Leuzinger showed themselves to be the better team tonight.
That's right. Now it's time for our player of the game and the tip of the hat. And the player of the game for me, we'll go all seniors tonight, I believe. And Adrian Galera, with 11 carries and 102 yards and 2 touchdowns, was my player of the game because he came out, set the tone right away with runs in the first quarter, and really set up the passing game for Malik Jackson, who was 10 out of 13 for 187 yards and 2 touchdowns. But I want to give it to the senior tonight.
All right, and following suit with you, another senior who really had a huge game on the defensive side of the ball. We don't recognize those guys enough, but I talked about how, first of all, he had an INT for a pick 6.
That's right.
All right, Suliasa Fakava, number 44, and, man, he was in on a number of plays, as he's been the last couple of weeks. And I think it's a great honor for a guy who comes out, and we've talked about him many times during the season.
Right.
I mean, gives it its all. So, Suliasa Fakava, hey, this tip of the hat and this special hat, this pink hat in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the month of October, you are our tip of the hat award winner tonight. Congratulations.
All right, well, that's going to do it from Olympian Field on the campus of Leuzinger High School, where the final score once again from
Blue House,
the Olympians 45 and the South Spartans 14. Until next time, so long.